you can continue the uGinininda. We, just before the long adjournment, you testify that accused number 1 came in and he was in leg irons and handcuffed, and that Mr. Zwani then made that remark which you've placed on record, and that the accused responded. You've placed the response on record. You can continue.
Yes.
In other words, he said it's in connection with the matter for which we came for cleansing.
Correct, my lord.
Yes.
So, maybe before I come into that, my lord, let me just go back a bit. I forgot something. When I was indicating the pointers that I was looking at insofar as establishing whether there were people who came into the house, whether they were intruders or not, I forgot two points as well. Right? I had to think about them while I was lying. So I remember there were 2 aspects. I want just to add those.
Yes.
In addition to what I've said, my lord, the other part that I looked at was the ballistic testing of Mr. Silotwala's firearm.
Ongiphinde ngakubheka futhi ebengikhohle ukukusho ukuhlolwa kweballistic kwesibhamu sikaSilotwala.
And it was because, my lord, there was a suggestion, or there seems to be rumors, because really we're nothing else but rumors, my lord. I must maybe put that into context, and the court will understand why I'm saying that. There were these rumors that suggest that firearm was used in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Ukuthi ke futhi kukhona amahlebezi athi leso sibhamu sasisetshenzisiwe ekubulaleni uSenzo Meyiwa.
Now the ballistic testing, my lord, was negative.
Manje kuma kuhlolwa ke ngeballistic kubonakala ukuthi cha kusona lesi sibhamu esasetshenziswa.
Meaning it was not the firearm that was used to discharge the bullet point or the projectile that was found at the crime scene, and the one that killed the deceased.
Kusho ukuthi ke la kwahlolwa kwabonakala ukuthi akusona lesi sibhamu esadubula lenhlamvu yatholakala endaweni yobugebengu ekuthiwa ke isona iyona nhlamvu lena eyabulala uSenzo Meyiwa.
The second point, my lord,
Yeah.
in the
Just a minute. Lieutenant Colonel Mangena testified about the ballistic report that you have just referred to, and it also serves as an exhibit before this court.
yes, my lord.
Lieutenant Colonel Mangena waletha umbiko wase futhi ke fakaza ngokuhlolwa kwezinhlamvu.
We will just come back to this at a later stage. Yes.
All right, my lord, yes. So the second aspect, my lord, was that in the docket, and I'm referring to docket 636 of 10/2014, the Phosphorus docket, my lord, there was no statement then, and I don't have any up to today, that says there is a witness who saw either Longwe or Kelly Kumalo or anyone in the house killing Senzo Meyiwa. In fact, the statements are saying intruders. So there is no statement under oath in this docket or suggestion, if you look at the preliminary evidence that was collected on that day, continuously before I got on board, up to the time I came on board, that suggests or even make suggestion under oath that the deceased was killed by the people who were inside the house.
Okuyako okwangenza ukuthi ngicabe kanjalo ukuthi ke kule docket leno 63610 2014 akukho statement noma ufakazi othi wabona uLongwe Thwala noma uKelly Khumalo ebulala uSenzo Meyiwa. Zonke izitatimende zikhomba ukuthi ke izelelesi ezasihlasele ekuyizona ezabulala uSenzo Meyiwa.
And in this regard, my lord, I'm talking about direct witnesses. Someone who says, I saw Senzo Meyiwa being shot by X who was in the house.
Lana ke ngikhuluma ngababona ngeso owathi ngabona ngeso lami uSenzo Meyiwa edutshulwa uSibanibani.
Or someone, my lord, who even goes to an extent of saying there were no intruders. I didn't see anyone going into the house. I heard gunshot and I didn't see people go running out of that house. There is no such a statement or such an eyewitness, my lord.
Akusikho futhi nestatement esithi cha ngezwe ukudutshulwa kodwa ngizange ngibone umuntu ebaleka kuleyo.
The only statement, my lord, that wants to suggest, but it's a hearsay, is the one that was made by Mr. Thorpe, which seems to say he heard from one of the people who was inside the house, in specific Mr. Tumelo Madlala, that the deceased was shot by mistake, but Mr. Madlala refuted that, my lord.
Manje ke engathi mhlambe kucishe kusondele kulombono ukuthi kwakukhona istatement esenzwa uHlophe owathi wezwa uTumelo Madlala ethi uSenzo wadubuleka ngephutha kodwa ke uba uHlophe leso statement leso sagcina sichithiwe.
So, my lord, in essence, I'm saying taking these 2 points and the other ones that I've mentioned before, there couldn't be any. I don't know if anyone could come to a different conclusion to say there were no intruders. The facts if they are presented to me today, I would have embarked on the same approach of believing that they were intruders and the process must be embarked on to find the intruders.
manje ke konke ke lokhu ngiholele ekutheni ngibone ukuthi wukho umunye umbono ongaba khona ukuthi babengekho abantu abahlasela lapha nanoma ngabheka namhlanje ngisazofika kulesi sinqumo sokuthi babe khona abantu ababehlasele ngalelo langa.
The motive is something different, my lord, but simply the intruders, factually I was convinced, and I still am, that they were intruders.
Manje masikhuluma ngenhloso okunye lokho kodwa ke fikela manje mina ayisekuleyo ngqondo ukuthi cha kwakukhona abantu abahlasela.
Yes.
Yeah, you earlier on referred to the ballistic report that pertains to a firearm, and that this ballistic report is negative. I just want to show you Exhibit X in bracket 13B. This is the affidavit of Lieutenant Colonel Mangena.
Yes, my lord.
If you can just refer to paragraph 7.1 of that affidavit.
Yes, my lord. So, paragraph 7.1 reads, the bullet mentioned in 3.4.1 was not fired from the pistol mentioned in 3.1.
Joke la inhlamvu lekhulunywe ngayo ku 3.4.1 akuyona inhlamvu eyadubula ngalesibhamu esisho lapho ku 3.4.1.
Can you just place again on record the pistol mentioned in 3.1?
So 3.1, my lord, is a 9mm parabellum caliber P Beretta model 92 FS compact single and double action semi-automatic pistol with serial number BER 190037. Yeah, that's the other one is a magazine in a holster that is listed.
Leso sibhamu uhlobo lwe 9mm ole parabellum model 92 FS sine serial number BER 19007.
37. 190037.
19 serial number yakho BER 190037.
Yes.
And whilst we're still on this topic, you earlier testified that the witnesses who were in the house described one of the attackers as someone who had dreadlocks on. We referred to the identity kit.
That is correct, my lord.
Nama dreadlocks ufakazi ngawo abonakalile lapha kulezi ithombe ze-identity ebezikhonjisiwe.
I just want to briefly refer you to Exhibit S. We'll return in greater detail at a later stage. It's the downloads of the photos that were found on the cell phone of accused number 3. Just want to show you photo number 12.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, can you just, what is photo number 12
So,
of Exhibit S?
So photo number 12, my lord, depicts a person resembling accused number 3. My observation, it is accused number 3 with dreadlocks. The date is 2014-10-26. That's the date that is on top, IMG 2014-10-26, and that is the day of the incident. He is wearing a top which looked like khakis. And I can mention, my lord, that in some of the statements of the people who were inside the house, mentioned the person with the dreadlocks wearing a khaki top. That is contained in the statements.
Lesi sithombe lesi sikhombisa umuntu ofana nomsolo wesithathu isithombe unumber 12 ebonakala ukuthi sathathwa ngomhla ka-26 October 2014 okuyilanga lesigameko and futhi ke ofakazi bayasho ukuthi kwakunomuntu owayenama dreadlocks owayegqoke itop ewukhakhi.
What is also prudent, my lord, perhaps to mention while we're dealing with this, is that this download was done in the year 2015, February. In other words, the cell phone was seized from accused number 3 for another matter. Subsequently, then the downloading was done for that matter.
Okunye ke kufanele Paulo ukuthi le phone yathathwa ngoFebruary 2015 umsolo kwasekwenziwa ke i-download usho ukuthi kukhishwa ke kule phone okwakungaphakathi kwefoni kodwa lokho kwakukhishwa elinye icala.
when we had our site on him, my lord, then I requested on that download that was done then. It's not something that we found now. That was done then. So we worked on what was on the archives of the police. We then selected this album. In fact, we downloaded everything which was made available to the defense, but we focused on the photos that matches him with the suspect that was identified on the day of the incident in this matter. And I can say, my lord, we found more than one photo that fits the description of him resembling the shooter that was mentioned on the 26th of October 2014.
sakhipha konke kwakule phone kodwa ke esaqonda ngqo ukona izithombe ezasisiza ukuthi sikwazi ukubona isithombe esifana esikhombisa umuntu ofana nalo okuleli icala lethu lo wayena dreadlocks.
Thank you. Any other aspects that you want to mention?
Not that I can think of, my lord. If I do recall, the court will bear with me. I'll just keep on going back, my lord.
Makukhona okunye ngizobuyela emumva ngizocela inkantolo ingibekezelele.
Yes, we can then come back to the events of the night of the 31st of May.
Yes, my lord. So after the warning, after that was said, then I obviously warned accused number one that what he was saying amounts to a confession, and I cautioned him about the rights that I gave him, and the response was that, but it is the truth, he's telling the truth.
Sengaxwayiseleke umsolo oqala amtshela ukuthi lokho akukhulumayo manje sekungagcina kubonakale kukwamukela icala wasethi no cha kuyiqiniso la kakhulumayo.
My lord, I then asked the members to remove him, where I continued then the interview with Mr. Zwane.
Ngase ke ngicela ukuthi akhishwe ngase ngiqhubekela phambili ke nokuxoxisana noZwane.
Just a minute. I just want to briefly put on record the evidence of Mr. Zwane in this respect. These are the proceedings of the 4th of September 2023. And if you can refer to page 22. Page 22.
Yes, I'm here, my lord.
If you can just place on record the way the sentence starts with Mr. Zwane.
So it says, now when I first met with Sibiya, they came to me in the company of 3. So there were 3 of them. Now the person that I directly communicated or interacted with was this Sibiya that I'm referring to, just as I am talking to the interpreter now. This is the same person that I directly interacted with, this Sibiya.
Manje ke umuntu uthi ke lana uma ngihlangana nabo umuntu engaqala ukuhlangana naye uSibiya uma beza kumina babe bathathu. So babe bathathu. Manje kumuntu engaqondana naye ngakhulumisana naye kwakuSibiya ngisho ukuthi ngangikhuluma naye njengoba ngikhuluma noTokiliki manje uyena lo muntu engaxhumana naye uSibiya.
Yes, and same page 22.
Yes, it reads
line 14.
Yes.
There where it says Mr. Zwane.
Indeed, my lord. Yes, so it reads as follows. Now when Sibiya and them came to me, they came to me as people that were in need of work. They were referred to me by somebody I do not know, but eventually they came to me and they said that they needed some work. They wanted to go, market for work and find work. Now I had to give them some herbal medicine for cleansing purposes, and I said to them, here is the product. You can go and cleanse yourself with this product, and thereafter you can go and search for work.
So manje uma sebeza kumina osmiya baza kumina beyabantu abafuna umsebenzi kushuthi bayathunyelwa omunye angazi ukuthi kanjani kodwa ke beza kumina bathi kumina badinga umsebenzi base befuna ke ukuthi bayomaketha bayothola umsebenzi lapho ke ngapha ukuthi ngibanike into lezi ethize nomuthi othize ukubageza ngase ngithi ke kubona na umuthi ningani iniyozigeza ngawo lo muthi lona emva kwaloko ke ningani ufuna umsebenzi.
Then on page 24, same proceedings of the 4th of September 2023, line 12.
Yes, it
starts at line 11.
Yes,
Mr. Zwane.
Yes. Beg your pardon, my lord. Yes, it reads as follows, Mr. Zwane. I do not know what then transpired after that. I only saw him coming back again, this Sibiya, to me. And then from Mr. Baloyi, question is how long after the first consultation did Sibiya come back to Mr. Zwane? Perhaps after 2 to 3 days, he then came back to me.
Lapha uthi ke uZwane angazi ukuthi kwenzekani emva kwalokho. Ngambone sebuya futhi loZuma lo Sibiya ebuya kimi. Usebuza kuba lo uthi babuya emva kwesikhathi singakanani ke emva ukuthi bafika ukuqala kuwena uSibiya. Uthi mhlambe ke babuya emva kwensuku ezimbili wayesebuya ke kimi.
Yes, then line 19.
Line 19 reads as follows, my lord, under Mr. Zwane. Now the second time around, I cannot ascertain as to the number of people that came. Safe to say that this very Sibiya came for the first time. Sorry, I beg your pardon, my lord. Maybe let me start from the beginning. Now the second time around, I cannot ascertain as to the number of the people that came. Safe to say that this very Sibiya that came for the first time to consult with me, he came the second time around to indicate that that job has been done. Now he says to me where they had gone to search for work, there is someone that had sustained some injury there.
Uthi ke uZwane mesiqhubeka athi mase bebiya ke kwesibili angeke ngakwazi ukuchaza ukuthi abantu babengakabeza kodwa ke ngicabanga ukuthi ke engingakusho ukuthi uyena lo Sibiya lo oweza okokuqala ukuzongibona wabuya okwesibili esezosho ukuthi umsebenzi usuwenziwe futhi ke uthi ke kumina laba beke khona beyofuna umsebenzi kukhona owalimala khona.
And then page 25 from line 11.
Line 11 under Mr. Zwane, my lord, says, I do not know in terms of your cultural background, but with us, when somebody has passed on within the family, there is some ritual cleansing of the members of the family. The same principle I applied here when they came because, you know, they cross path with misfortune. And as a result, I had to assist them for ritual cleansing after that. I helped them only with 2 things.
Uthi ke lapho uzala angazi ukuthi malana nosiko lenu luhamba kanjani kodwa ke kithi na ke umuntu umedlulile emhlabeni emndenini kukhona ke ukugezwa kwamalungu umndeni. Lapha ke ngasebenzisa yona ke lento yokuthi ukugezwe ngoba bathi masebebuya bahlangana neshwa futhi ke umphumela waloko ukuthi ngakufanele ukuthi ngibasize ngokuthi bagezwe emva kwaloko ngabasiza kuphela ngezinto ezimbili.
On page 29 from line 14.
From line
14.
14. Okay. It reads as follows. I am just a person that has to help. I am a helper of people. Where I was standing, they took a picture or a photograph of me from where I was standing. They handcuffed me, then they took a picture of me and then they showed it to somebody, and that particular person will then say, this is. They handcuffed me after that particular person said, let me explain that when I walked out of the house, I was not handcuffed. Okay, let me just read all of it. Now when I got, I'm reading as it is, my lord. Now they took pictures of me right there at the street, and then I was handcuffed at the street. Let me just explain it this way. I eventually got to the police station while handcuffed, and while at the police station there.
Mina ngumuntu osizayo nje kuphela ngisiza abantu. La engangimekhona kwathatha isithombe sami la engangikhona. Base ke bengifaka ozankosi. Base bethatha isithombe sami base basikhombisa omunye umuntu and futhi lo muntu wayefanele asho lo bangifaka ozankosi emva kwa lokho omunye umuntu wasethi awuthi ngichaze lokho ngase ngithi mase ngihamba la ngaphandle kwendlu ngangasafakiwe ozankosi manje kuma mase kulapho ngithatha khona izithombe sithathwa ngapha ngokwesokudla ngasemgwaqweni ngase ngifakwa ozankosi awuthi ngichaze ngalendlela bathi mase ngifike emaphoyiseni yila engafakwa khona ozankosi ngiyise station esikhundleni samaphoyisa.
Then finally on page 30 from line 1.
Okay, line 1 reads as follows, my lord. I said the Sibiya young man who was coming. I said the Sibiya young man who was coming from. The proximity could be from here, perhaps to the door there. And I was asked. He was handcuffed and feet as well. I asked him, young man, what happened? That you know, inquiring from the Sibiya young man.
Ngase ngibona ke insizwa leya kaSpiya la evela khona kusho ukuthi ke la eyikhona njengokusuka la uyofika kule mnyango lapha ya engabuzwa ke yena kwayifakwe ozankosi ezandleni naseinyaweni bese ngiyambuza ngithi awensizwa kwenze njani ngaleso sikhathi ngakubuza yona lensizwa kaSpiya.
Then the prosecutor, my lord, asked, yes, and just a minute, could you recognize that person that you saw there at the police station? Could you recognize that person that you say it is Sibiya? Then Mr. Zwane replies as follows, this is the very person that I had a very close interaction with, that we were facing each other at a very closer proximity. And the others were just adjacent to where he was, just like these ones that are seated behind me here. But one is the very person that we had a face-to-face interaction with. I could then tell that this is the Sibiya young man.
Uyena lo muntu engangikhulumisana naye sibhekene ubuso nobuso eseduze kakhulu laba abanye babesemaceleni akhe ebeseduze kwala ehleli khona njengalaba nje abahleli emva kwami kodwa ke yena uyena lo muntu engangibhekene naye ubuso kubuso ngikhulumisana naye ngangikwazi ngiyabona ukuthi uyena impela lo yaSibiya leyansizwa kaSibiya.
And then Mr. Baloyi says yes, and then Mr. Zwane, my lord, goes further to say, now I do not recall which police officer I spoke to, me, and right there at that police station, there were many police officers, and he said to me, do you know this person? Do you recognize this person? I then replied, I say, yes, I know this person. He is the same person that came to me. This is Sibiya.
Wase qhubeka ukuthi na angisakhumbula ukuthi yiphi iphoyisa engakhuluma nalo khona lapho esikhumulweni samaphoyisa maningi amaphoyisa engakhuluma nayo and wasethi kumina uyayazi inde lensizwa uyayibona inde ikhumbula inde lensizwa ngase ngiphendula ngithi yebo ngiyamazi lo muntu uyena futhi lo yamuntu oweza kumina uyena uSibiya.
What is your comment regarding this version of Mr. Zwane?
My lord, it's in line with what I recall, although he's not explicit with regards to say but he does make reference to the handcuffs and coming, seeing him. And it is correct that when they brought him to me on the 31st, he was in a company of other police officers. Like I said, there was a SWAT team that was assisting. Sergeant Mukula was there. So they were police officers. So it's in line with my recollection of our interaction, my lord.
Yebo leyo kakubekayo kuyabonakala ukuthi cha ngempela kuyikho la akhuluma ngako nanoma ke njengoba nje eveza nokuthi wayeboshwe efakwe zankosi einyaweni nasezandleni kodwa khona okunye angakubeki kufana enqinishini nalokho kodwa ngomhla 31 la kwala khona yebo amanye amaphoyisa njengoba esho nje ngoba njengoba bese ngibekile ukuthi yayikhona iSWAT team futhi ke no Sergeant Mkhula naye wayekhona.
And what is prominent, my lord, is the fact that he does mention that there was a cleansing, because that was really the essence of me wanting to speak to him, to establish what is it that was said. As accused number one told me that during the cleansing process, they told this traditional healer. So he makes mention of the cleansing.
Okusemqoka kumina ukuthi ke wakubeka ukuthi kwakunokugezwa okwenzeka ngoba kokuyona into esemqoka kakhulu ngoba yayinto eyayivezwe nawo umsolo oqala ukuthi bayogezwa.
So that part of a convention, my lord, in essence, was corroborated.
Manje ukusho ukuthi ke lokho ke kwafakazelwa.
And this police station that Mr. Zwane refers to, what does it refer to?
Look, my lord, it was brought, I think as a layman one will understand. It was the provincial office. It's the building that belongs to the police. I think he was referring to where we met at the provincial office in Araton, my lord.
Lo muntu ayekhuluma indawo ayekhuluma ngayo asithathe nje ukuthi umuntu vele umuntu nje ongazi kakhulu kodwa ke le ndawo esasikuyona amahhovisi esifunda endaweni yase Araton.